Pancrase, can you please lead us?
Will everyone please join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
More, can you close it?
Huh?
Fix it? Are you
No,
set?
I'm
Oh,
done.
You're done, okay.
Just downloaded.
All right, we'll move on to call to the public. Call to the public is held for public benefit to allow individuals to address issues within the board's jurisdiction. Board members may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. Therefore, pursuant to Arizona Revised Statute 38-431.01H, action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to criticism, or scheduling the matter for further discussion and decision at a future date. Public comments may be made in person or submitted by email at publiccomments@yumacountyaz.gov. The email forms of public comments will be accepted until 8 a.m. the morning of the meeting. All public comments will be read out loud during the Yuma County Board of Supervisors meeting that starts at 9 a.m. Desiree, do we have any emails?
We do not.
No. And I don't have any speaker phones, but anybody from the public that wishes to address the board? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board and move on to presentations, proclamations, and appointments.
I have an appointment. Bobby McDermott I'd like to reappoint Bobby McDermott to the Planning and Zoning.
Okay,
And I have one too, and I'd like to reappoint Scott Mulehern to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
yeah,
Pardon me?
they're 4 terms.
They're 4-year terms and hers is up. Mhm. And I called
will
her,
remind me.
she said yes, and I went.
And I know I have Mr. Ron Rice on my district to reappoint him for the planning and zoning. Unless he, I mean, I did try to call him, but I couldn't get a hold of him. Unless he doesn't want to, then I'll appoint someone else. But if he's willing to serve, he'll be my appointment again.
Well, I don't know, I got 2 appointments, and I don't know if their terms are up. Maggie will let me know, I'm sure.
You'll get a notice.
I'll get a notice.
All right. We'll move on to item number 1. County Administration presentation of the economic impact of Arizona Western College by AWC President Dr. Daniel Corr. Welcome. Good morning.
Thriving communities, whether that's Welton or San Luis or Somerton or Yuma throughout our amazing county. We want to live in a thriving community. The college helps us do that. A little bit about our students. We're down to 60% first-generation students, and that's a good thing. That means we're turning the tide, that there are increasing numbers of college graduates here in the county that we serve. We're about 3 out of 4 of our students are Hispanic. And that last figure is something that really is the culmination of what we've been doing for the past decade or so. Right now, about 3 out of 10 of our students are still in high school. They're early college students. We're creating that college-going culture here in Yuma County. I'll also share that Arizona Western College, your community college, is the fastest growing community college in the state of Arizona, and that has been true at 3, 5, or 10 year. We are on a decade-long sustained growth that is really unrivaled in the state. This semester alone, we're up an additional 9%. In the fall, we're up 10%. So we're building this college-going culture, and you see we're doing that with that last bullet point down at the bottom there through sustained academic success also. Our students are succeeding at higher levels. Last spring, I should say, last May, we had a record number of graduates at Arizona Western College. Our graduation ceremony was so large that it got shut down. We couldn't let any more people into the football stadium. So this past December, for the first time ever, we had a fall graduation. So we're now having 2 graduations a year because of the number of credentials being awarded by Arizona Western College. We're also transferring to our wonderful 3 state universities, all located right on our campus. Over the last 3 years, we've seen a 14% increase in the number of students transferring on to one of those 3 state universities. That's important to put in context because across the state, transfer numbers are down 22%. So the other 9 community colleges in Arizona are showing double digits decline in transfer rates while we're showing double-digit increase in graduation rates. I talked about the early college rate, or early college growth. Amazing, over 1,000%. There's no decimal point in there. 1,026% increase in the number of high school students taking college credit courses while they're still in high school. I'll remind you, we discounted that tuition by about 2/3. We scholarship students who can't afford that. No one is turned away. And last May, we had over 100 high school students earn their college credential from AWC a week or 2 before they walked across their high school stage with their high school credential. Really amazing, amazing growth. Now, because I'm president, I had to get all that in before I talk to you about what I said I was coming to talk to you about, and that is the economic impact of Arizona Western College. And there's an equally wonderful story to be told here. And again, this was done by Lightcast. There's a lot of methodology and data behind this that I'd be happy to share. But first of all, we start out with the fact that earning an associate degree or a credential has an economic benefit, as does the really multiplier is when you earn a baccalaureate degree. So there, despite public discourse that might tell you otherwise, there is still tremendous value associated with earning a certificate or associate degree or a baccalaureate degree, and the numbers bear that out. So here's kind of AWC by the numbers. A lot of people don't know, but we are, when we total it up for this academic year, we'll be over 13,000 students served by Arizona Western College. We have a total payroll in excess of $44 million. The majority of our students take at least one CTE course. They are preparing for the jobs to serve this community. They're preparing for wages that will sustain a family. They're preparing to create the thriving communities that we want. You see that tuition, although substantial, over $6 million, is a small fraction of the college's revenue sources. Fully 7% of our students come from outside Yuma or La Paz County. Again, I'll remind you, we serve both counties. And these students may be coming for a regional program, so in the medical field or engineering. They may be international students, they may be athletes, but they bring obviously tremendous economic benefits when they come, and you know they shop, they go to the movies, they go to restaurants, they do things along those lines. And we have over 1,300 employees at Arizona Western College. So obviously there's a regional ripple effect. We support directly and indirectly in excess of 1,300 jobs, over $51 million regional income of direct spending, and of course, the secondary ripple effect. And then there's construction. We've built a law enforcement training academy. We've built a new residence hall, De Anza, the Matador Athletic Center. We're expanding our center out in Welton. There's a lot of construction activity going on with this key factor: not a dollar, not a cent of additional local taxpayer support. We've funded that through appropriations from both Governor Ducey and Governor Hobbs. We've passed a bond using revenue, not guaranteed by the taxpayers. So a lot of activity, a lot of economic benefits with no additional tax dollars. And this is the proof in the pudding, folks. Our current bond rating through Moody's is AAA. That was not the case a decade ago. When we sold those bonds to finance the Matador Athletic Center and De Anza Residence Hall, we were rated AA+ by Standard & Poor's, and the Moody's bond rating was a AAA. I'll stop here and tell you that for 8 out of the last 9 budgets, there was no increase in the tax rate. For 8 out of the last 9 years, I'll have one more budget before I retire, and I will go out with 9 out of 10 budgets with no tax increase to local taxpayers. All this has been achieved through our existing budget and revenue sources. Student spending. Students have discretionary income and they use it. There's about a 9.3 additional added regional income generated from our students. If you've been to the Dutch Bros, as my college-age daughters have, looking to spend $8 on a soft drink or whatnot, those are our students. They're probably Matadors in that line, getting ready to do that. And then the ripple effect occurs through our alumni, right? That's really where the multiplier effect comes in. And there, you're over $256 million in additional regional income from alumni earnings, increased business profit, and other ancillary ripple effects. So again, we're about, through the Lightcast, over 3% of the region's gross regional product is, well, again, about 1 in 23 jobs in Yuma County is directly impacted by the existence of Arizona Western College. Let me run through these because these are kind of really the high points. From a student, there's 3 different perspectives to the college: the student, the taxpayer, and then society as a whole, and I'll quickly run through all 3 of them. So the return on investment from a student perspective: you pay your tuition, you defer income, you buy books, you do those types of things. What's your rate on return? There's a cost-benefit ratio there, or a rate on return of over 16% in terms of higher wages. I'll refer back to that opening slide where you saw the additional income generated from a certificate to an associate's degree. So simply by attending Arizona Western College and earning a credential, you've got a rate of return of about 16.2%. I don't know what your stock market portfolio looks like, but if you're returning 16.2%, you're doing all right. Then there's the taxpayer perspective, because every once in a while in Fry, someone will say, listen, I got my tax bill and AWC's on there, and no one in my family goes there. I don't know why I'm paying those taxes. Well, let me tell you that this taxpayer perspective is tax revenue, government savings at the cost of state and local funding. Your property taxes is the primary revenue source for the college. If you never attended Arizona Western College, no one in your family attended Arizona Western College, you don't employ anyone in your business from Arizona Western College, you are still getting a rate and return of 1.3%. That is if you have no use and have never taken advantage of any of the college resources. So to the average taxpayer, even if they have never enrolled, don't know any enrolled, don't work or employ anyone who's ever enrolled, there's still a rate of return. And there's the societal impact. Obviously, this is the economic base, earnings, tax, social savings of less incarceration, less likely to be on public assistance, so on and so forth. Again, that's a huge economic and societal benefit for the existence of Arizona Western College, your community college. So, an overview, there's a positive return on investment for both students, taxpayers, and society. We're over 3% of the regional gross regional product, $320 million of total income added, about 5,700 jobs supported in the region. A lot of people respond to numbers. I certainly do, but some people respond to people and faces and stories, and there are thousands, literally thousands of students like William Garcia who have started their career probably in early college, transferred to Arizona Western, gone on to one of our 3 state universities, and now is here in our community, supporting their family, creating thriving communities. So, hopefully I haven't gone past 10 minutes. I wanted to give you a snapshot, but I'd be remiss if I didn't share that we're also partnering with Onvita. We are a driver of rural healthcare. We are responding to the community needs. You can't have a thriving community unless you have a healthy community. Can't have a healthy community unless you have a workforce ready to fill those positions. And we have stepped up. We have doubled the number of nurses graduated each year in the last 3 years, and there are other programs that we'll be adding soon. I'd love to come back and chat with you just about rural healthcare and our response there. So I'll stop and share with you that it's been a great decade to be a Matador. Today is a great day to be a Matador. I'm proud to partner with you, and I'd love to entertain any questions or comments that you might have.
I have a question. What is the response rate? What is it referring to when you said AWC nursing? What is it a survey that you took and there's a response rate, or is it you asked the graduates? What did you do?
The methodology that Lightcast used?
Yeah, it says spring 2024 graduate employment rate. And so response rate 61%, the response rate increased to 85% in this new year. What is the response rate? What is it talking about?
I'm not sure I understand the question, Tony.
If you look at the charts, the one before the last one. Move up. It says response rate on the AWC nursing program.
Oh, the nurses?
Check it up.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, you're gonna get.
Thank you, Mr. Reyes. I'm happy to answer that question. Yeah, so only 85. We could only find out where 80%, 85% of our graduates were to know whether they worked at Onvita or whether they were employed or in what manner they were employed. So there were 15% of the folks who graduated our program as a nurse and didn't respond to where we tried to find out what they were doing and where they were
I
at.
see. So that's what you refer to when you ask the question and you don't get an answer. It's a response rate.
Correct.
Okay. So the other charts that you give us, some of them are lifetime impacts and some of them are like seasonal or just refer to the numbers of people that responded at the time that you did the survey.
Correct. Yeah, this nursing spotlight in particular, Mr. Reyes, was a survey of our graduates. The economic data was produced by Lightcast. That wasn't through a survey. That was through the methodology that they used.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's fun. I like AWC. Let me just make that point clear. My daughter goes to AWC, so AWC is the place of choice that I think most of us would choose. So hearing all this data is pretty encouraging to know that it means something in the life of those kids, because it means something in the life of those parents, I tell you that.
Sure.
But I just wanted to make sure that we understand that some of these impacts that you're talking about are lifetime impacts, and some of them are just seasonal impacts based upon the rate. For example, the rate of people that go to universities. That changes, but you guys been improving it every year that I've ever heard. So congratulations on a very well-run program.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And again, in a 10-minute, the methodology used was a couple of inches thick. I wanted to be upfront and just kind of hit the highlights, but you're exactly right, sir, and I appreciate the kind words.
Dr. Kaur, thank you for 10 years of, how many years have you been there? 10?
10 years, yeah, this is my 10th year, absolutely.
That's what I thought. And the growth that has come to AWC and with ASU, U of A, and NAU there, the growth of the number of opportunities to be able to go to school have increased immensely with you at the helm. And I appreciate all the work that you did, and it's a wonderful day to be a matador.
Well, thank you, Ms. Pancrezi. Absolutely. Obviously, an amazing team. I've got an amazing board that I've worked for, and as you know, super proud of the fact that someone I've had opportunity to work with for the last 10 years, Dr. Dewan, will step in as the new president of Arizona Western College, and starting June 1, and the growth will
Amazing, too.
continue.
Yes,
Yeah.
He's got some big shoes to fill.
yes. she does.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Great job.
Thank you, Dr. Corr, and great presentation, great information, and like Supervisor Pancrezi said, thank you for what you've done this last 10 years, what you've done for this community, so thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity. Best of luck. Thank you.
Moving on to item number 2, Human Resources presentation highlighting the graduates of the Yuma County Governance, Operations, and Vision Leadership Program. Jesse,
Good morning.
Good morning.
good morning.
All right. Good morning, Chairman Porches and members of the board. I'm Nayeli Flores, Human Resources Training Supervisor, and I'm here today to provide an update on UGov, Yuma County Governance, Operations, and Vision Program, a leadership and governance development program designed specifically for Yuma County's deputy directors and upper management staff. UGov was designed to strengthen leadership capacity by giving participants a deeper practical understanding of how Yuma County operates, how decisions are made at a governance level, and how their roles connect to the county's long-term strategic vision. By the conclusion of the program, participants walked away better equipped to lead with clarity, consistency, and a stronger sense of public service responsibility, positioning them to support effective governance and operational excellence across the organization. Thank you. On October 6th, we formally introduced UGov as a new leadership development initiative. UGov is Yuma County's premier governance development program that is designed to provide deputy directors with a comprehensive understanding of county operations, structures, and strategic vision. The program blends practical knowledge of governance functions with leadership principles in combination with soft skills to strengthen alignment, accountability, and long-term impact in public service. UGov was intentionally designed over more than a year and developed in collaboration with Facilities Management Director Tiffany Anderson to ensure it aligned with operational needs and county priorities. At that time, we shared the broader leadership strategy. You lead for aspiring leaders, leadership engagement with directors and elected officials, and UGov to capture the deputy director level, which is critical for continuity and succession planning. Since that presentation, the program has not only commenced, but successfully concluded its first cohort, delivering 9 structured lessons focused on governance, fiscal leadership, risk management, board processes, building and developing trust, and emotional intelligence, held once a week, October through December, with each session lasting from 4 hours to a full day. The program was delivered entirely by internal subject matter experts, reinforcing consistency, collaboration, and county-specific expertise. Thank you. UGov began with County Governance Day, led by County Administrator Ian McGahey, which established a strong foundation in how Yuma County operates, including governance structure, revenue sources, statutory authority, strategic planning, and the importance of ethics and customer service. The program continued with fiscal leadership, led by Chief Financial Officer Humberto del Castillo, where participants gained practical insight into the county's financial operations, fiscal accountability, and key policies related to budgeting, procurement, grants, and assessment management, reinforced by focus on emotional intelligence and effective leadership in managing both resources and people. Through Session 3, Budget Fiscal Leadership, participants strengthened their ability to plan, monitor, and adjust departmental budgets by gaining a clear understanding of the county's budget development process, fiscal timelines, monitoring tools, and accountability requirements, while reinforcing equitable decision-making through implicit bias awareness. During Session 4, Risk and Facilities, participants enhanced their understanding of enterprise risk management, workplace safety, facilities operations, gaining practical insight into risk mitigation, incident reporting, insurance and workers' compensation processes, capital project oversight, while improving communication and teamwork through an increased awareness of temperament differences. Session 5, Franklin Covey's Leading with the Speed of Trust, was held on November 12, 2025. This session provided participants with practical strategies to enhance leadership effectiveness by building credibility, strengthening relationships, and accelerating results through high trust behaviors. Participants explored the principles of trust-based leadership and learned actionable tools to apply in their day-to-day roles, reinforcing the county's commitment to effective and accountable leadership. In Session 6, participants strengthened their understanding of board processes, open meeting law compliance, and effective public and media communication, while reinforcing expectations for a respectful workplace. During Session 7, participants increased their awareness of county technology processes, cybersecurity, and emergency preparedness responsibilities, including continuity of operations, while emphasizing psychological safety in the workplace. Session 8 was known as Human Resources Day, where participants gained a comprehensive understanding of county HR policies, programs, and compliance requirements, strengthening their ability to manage people effectively, navigate personnel actions, and support employee development while ensuring organizational accountability. The program concluded in Session 9 with the wrap-up discussion with the panel of the subject matter experts, followed by program commencement, where participants reflected on key learnings, demonstrated leadership growth, and were formally recognized for their commitment to professional development and cross-department collaboration. YouGov's value extends beyond the classroom. YouGov developed confident, well-informed county leaders by connecting governance, operations, and people practices, fostering collaboration across departments, and reinforcing a culture of ethical leadership, accountability, and service to the community. There will be continued access to Franklin Covey's All Access Pass through 2026 to ensure learning and application continue well beyond the program completion. Collectively, this strengthens Yuma County's leadership bench and supports long-term organizational stability. At this time, we are pleased to formally recognize the graduates of YouGov's inaugural cohort. Completion of this program required consistent participation, engagement, and commitment across all 9 sessions. These individuals represent a diverse cross-section of departments and play a critical role in the county's daily operations and future leadership. We appreciate their dedication to professional development and public service. And the graduates are: we have Frank Young, Chief Deputy County Assessor; Pedro Arroyo, Chief Deputy Constable; Blanca Irales, Executive Chief of Staff, County Attorney's Office; Lupita Candela, Chief Deputy County Recorder; Georgia Maya, Deputy Director for Development Services; Alan Quintero, Deputy County Engineer; Gregory Britt, Deputy Director, Facilities Management; Leo Tannery, Deputy Chief Financial Officer; Ryan Butcher, Deputy Chief Health Officer; Jessica Arceniaga, Deputy Chief Human Resources Officer; Carla Vasquez, Employee Benefits Manager for Human Resources; Richard Parks, Deputy Chief Public Defender; Virginia Jones, Chief Deputy Public Fiduciary; Santos Guerrero, Deputy Director, Public Works; Reina Curiel, Justice Court Administrator; Sarah Wisdom, Deputy Library Director; Elizabeth Valenzuela, Chief Deputy School Superintendent; Don Mueller, Chief Deputy County Treasurer; Tristan Gomen, Lieutenant, Sheriff's Office; Ana Duarte, Captain, Sheriff's Office; and Dave Nash, Communications Administrative Director for County Administration. Congratulations to YouGov Cohort 2025. I believe we have a couple here, if they would just stand. We have a few of them here, yes.
All right.
YouGov's success would not have been possible without strong leadership support. We sincerely thank the board and county administration for the continued commitment to developing internal talent. Appreciation is extended to Tiffany Anderson for her partnership in shaping the program, as well as to our directors, subject matter experts, elected officials, and HR team who made this program possible. YouGov is not a one-time effort, but part of a long-term leadership development strategy. We look forward to building on this success and continuing to strengthen leadership at every level of the organization. We look forward to future cohorts and continued alignment across ULEAD, YouGov, and director-level leadership efforts. Thank you for your ongoing support and trust in developing Yuma County's leaders. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
He turned, okay. So what's next? Who's next?
Well, continuing for sure, we want to focus also on all levels, so it's strengthening our curriculum for all county employees to take, and they can take it at any level that they're at. So we'll be strengthening our curriculum and then continuing with our different programs. We do have ULEAD right now that is ongoing and is set to graduate. Their final presentations will be in March, and then we'll get ready for the next round.
And the next round is going to be lower level, I guess, because I couldn't help but notice that most of the participants were deputy chiefs or something. So what we're doing is trying to develop the next generation of leaders to take over when their chief leaves. So I can see how that kind of a program can move down the steps to more people, include more people, make it more inclusive so that there's availability of the training program for people below chiefs, below deputy chiefs, excuse me.
Yes.
And that's what's next, I would suppose, that
Yes.
you broaden the curriculum to include more people.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, congratulations to the graduates.
Thank you
One.
so much.
I just want to say a comment, and obviously, I want to thank the staff, you and the staff, and Ian, everybody, the administration. This is kind of what we've been talking for a while, and as most of you know, even the board knows me, I'm one that always pushes to bring people from within to move up. I rather look, I will say not I don't think everybody deserves that, but I do like that, and I'm pleased that you're doing that and making employees better. And as you know, the board, have really looked at rewarding in every year and we want to continue to do that. And I'm glad that I'm seeing that with you guys' leadership and keeping that program going. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you.
Moving on to item number 3, presentation of the State of the County video. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm Martin Porchas, Chairman of the Yuma County Board of Supervisors, and I am proud to welcome you to something new for Yuma County. This year, for the first time, we are sharing a State of the County update through video as a way to connect with residents, businesses, and visitors across our community. We all know Yuma County is growing. Our needs are growing, our opportunities are growing, and the work being done every day to serve this community deserves to be shared in a more accessible way that everyone can enjoy. So today I want to take a few minutes to highlight some of the major progress we made over the past year and also share a look ahead of what's coming in 2026 and beyond. One of the biggest achievements was the opening of the new Yuma County Administration Services building last month. This is a major milestone for our organization and for our community. By bringing several key departments together in one centralized location, we created a more convenient experience for residents and a stronger, more efficient way to deliver the services Yuma County relies on. We are also nearing completion of a major expansion and remodel of the Yuma County Public Health Services District building. This project adds more than 20,000 square feet of new space and remodels 80% of the existing interior. That means the health district will better equipped to provide more comprehensive services more efficiently and more effectively for years to come. A new building now houses emergency management located adjacent to the Emergency Operations Center at our Public Works Department. Having emergency management so close to the EOC creates valuable synergy and coordination that will be critical when we face emergencies or crises. Transportation remains essential to our daily life and our economy, and we completed a significant paving project on Highway 95 from County 22nd Street to Avenue H and 1/4. This is a vital corridor for agriculture, which is of course the largest industry in our region. We are actively seeking state support to continue the critical project north to 32nd Street. We made significant progress at our waste tire facility, cutting our inventory of discarded tires by more than half, thanks in parts to the funds we received from the state. Another achievement is the recently completed renovation of the historic Yuma County Courthouse. This project helps accommodate our expanding Superior Court and allow Justice Court to relocate into renovated space that better meets current needs. It's a smart investment in both our history and our future. And in Tacna, we completed a major water improvement project, a $14.7 million investment to replace aging infrastructure, having a direct effect on quality of life and the health of residents served by the project. Even with those major milestones, we have many other projects in progress that will shape the future of Yuma County. We are renovating a building in Gadsden to expand the sheriff's office presence and better serve residents in that area. We are also renovating the recorder's office on Main Street in Yuma, upgrading the 100-year-old building for efficiency, safety, and to facilitate improved customer service. The University of Arizona Cooperative Extension is relocating from the Health Department building to a new facility on county land adjacent to the University of Mesa Agricultural Center at Avenue A and County 15th Street, strengthening partnership and improving access for our agricultural community. We continue to advance major infrastructure work like the Orange Grove Rancho Mesa Verde sewer project, a $24 million investment that will bring sewer service to approximately 332 residential properties and connect those neighborhoods to the municipal treatment plant in the city of Somerton, replacing ancient septic systems and supporting healthier communities. We are nearing the finish line on the Broadband Middle Mile project, placing 170 miles of underground fiber optic cable across the county. This $30 million project is building the backbone needed to bring faster, more reliable, affordable connectivity to homes, schools, and businesses, particularly those in rural county areas. That effort is also complemented by the Wireless Ag Broadband Network, a $6 million project that supports technology in agriculture such as smart irrigation, drones, autonomous equipment, and other tools that make farming more productive and more efficient. Later this year, Public Works will open a new South County transfer site along County 19th Street by Avenue D, giving residents better access to disposal options and helping reduce illegal dumping in desert areas. We also expect to finalize the acquisition of land in Somerton for the future development of county services in South County, making those services more convenient for residents there. In addition, our crews maintain hundreds of miles of roads, ensuring dependable and safe access to homes, businesses, and critical services. We've been making improvements to our county parks, including new accessible play equipment at the Foothills and Tacna Park, along with additional amenities that give families more places to relax, play, and enjoy their community. We'll be launching a new county website in 2026 designed to make it easier to find the information you need and connect with services in a more user-friendly way. También vamos a seguir ampliando nuestra comunicación en español para que todos los residentes del condado de Yuma reciban la información que necesitan. All of this progress is possible because Yuma County is in a strong financial position. Yuma County isn't standing still. We're building, improving, expanding, and planning for the future. Through conservative budgeting, careful planning, and a constant focus on efficiency, we continue to provide critical services while maintaining healthy reserve funds to help protect county operations during an economic downturn. Our goal is always to operate leaner, smarter, and more efficiently while delivering the highest possible level of service. Serving the community is what we do. It's why we're here, and as Yuma County continues to grow, we remain committed to providing services, planning for the long term, and limiting that cost to taxpayers while meeting the needs of a dynamic and expanding region. Of course, like every county, we also face real challenges. One challenge is that state support for roadway maintenance and improvements has not kept pace with local needs, especially in fast-growing areas like ours. We will continue to advocate for stronger transportation funding so we can maintain and improve the roads that our residents, businesses, and industries depend on every day. We also continue to see the rising cost of Arizona long-term care system. This year, the county's share is now $12,640,000, which represents about 11.4% of the total general fund operating expenditures. This is a statewide issue, and we will continue working with our partners to seek long-term solutions. Another challenge is land availability. Approximately 88% of Yuma County is public land, much of it federal. That limits the land available for development, which affects economic expansion and housing options. Yuma County will continue to work collaboratively with the state and federal partners to ensure that growth opportunities are not unaccessibly restricted. The long-term sustainability of the Colorado River remains a critical issue for our economy, our agriculture community, and our quality of life across Yuma County, requiring continued coordination with local, state, and federal partners. We also face the reality of aging facilities. While we have made strong progress modernizing county buildings, other critical infrastructure, including our nearly 40-year-old county jail, we require major reinvestment in the coming years to ensure safety, efficiency, and long-term affordability. We continue to monitor state and regulatory actions, including potential new requirements related to dust mitigation that could impose significant costs while producing limited measurable results. We will continue advocating for practical science-based solutions that protect public health without creating burdens that do not reflect local conditions. Finally, while the county works hard to keep taxes low through fiscal responsibility, the state places limits on how local governments may use revenue, making it harder to respond to local needs and protect county service levels. But here's the important part. Yuma County is not backing away from these challenges. We are confronting them head-on with planning, discipline, and a commitment to solutions that serve our community. At the end of the day, what makes Yuma County strong isn't just our projects, responsible budgeting, or good management. It's our people, it's our communities, it's the residents who call Yuma County home, it's our businesses that create jobs and opportunity, it's our partnership with agriculture, the military, educators, health professionals, first responders, and neighbors who make our county work. And it's our dedicated county employees who show up every day with pride and purpose, committed to providing the services we all rely on. Yuma County is growing, and we're meeting that growth with investment, innovation, and responsible leadership. We are planning not just for today, but for the next decade and beyond. We are committed to delivering services efficiently, improving infrastructure, strategically, and protecting the quality of life that makes Yuma County such a special place to live, work, and visit. Thank you for taking the time to watch this State of the County update. On behalf of the entire Board of Supervisors, we appreciate your trust, we value your partnership, and we look forward to everything we will be accomplishing in 2026. Together, we're building a county that works today and is ready for tomorrow. Thank you. That was long. It felt long, huh?
Mr. Chairman, I have to say that was thorough, that was professional, and it was so informative for the public.
Well,
Thank you, our
I want to
communications
thank
team
the
that did that.
communication and
Yeah.
the staff, admin for doing that, so.
It was wonderful, thank you.
Ian had to twist my arm to do that. And I think what was said in that video, it really is true. I think, you know, we have great employees, great staff, the administration, the board. I mean, working with all of you, I mean, it's been a pleasure, it's been an honor, and I just want to continue, you know, making Yuma County better. So, thank you. All right. Moving on to consent agenda. Consent calendar, the following items listed on the consent agenda will be considered as a group and acted upon by one motion with no separate discussion unless a board member so requests. In that event, the item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate discussion and action.
Mr. Chairman, if nobody has any concerns with any item in the board, I'd like to make a motion we approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda, items 1 through 5. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to discussion and action items. Moving on to item number 1, discussion and possible action regarding the University of Arizona Cooperative Extension Building Project, CIP number 2.22.05. Josh?
that project and set a budget of $5.5 million. So with the project approved and a budget, we started looking for places to build this building for the extension. We looked at a number of options, lease options or purchase options, and it was determined that since this is a county building, a county project, that we would need to own the land in order to construct on it. So we worked with the Board of Regents and purchased 2 acres at the Mesa Farm location out off of, well, you heard the chairman say it in the video, Avenue A and County 15th. We negotiated a purchase price of $220,000 with the Board of Regents. And then we started our programming efforts. We initially worked with Mortensen Cunningham, who was the design build contractor for the Health District project. They went through the preliminary programming effort with the university and with the cooperative extension, and they identified about a 15,000 square foot building to house the current operations and programs that the extension has. And the preliminary price tag on that was just under $10 million. And this is about the point where I got involved in the project and took over management of it. Things had kind of slowed down as the Health District project accelerated. So Russ and I re-engaged Mortensen Cunningham to try and finish out the programming and get into some preliminary design work. The response from Mortensen Cunningham and the pricing wasn't real favorable to the county, so we came up with a second option, and that was to engage a local consultant here that ended up being Nicholas Engineering to finish out that programming effort and lead the architectural design work. So Nicholas Engineering has taken the project to about the 60% stage, and you'll see here that building has been reduced from the initial 15,000 square feet to 13,000 square feet. Russ and the Nicholas Engineering team worked real hard to try and squeeze that down. They eliminated some lab space, reduced the size of the labs, reduced the storage, and combined some areas into some kind of multi-use type space. It's just a bigger picture of the floor plan there. You can see the offices on the kind of the exterior walls and conference space that's dividable, and then the labs on the interior. So it kind of takes us to the project budget. The overall budget for the project was set by the board at $5.5 million. Out of that $5.5 million, we've got just under $4.4 million set aside for construction of the building. With the 60% design cost estimate, we're sitting at about a $5.1 million construction budget. So that's a shortfall in the project of just over $733,000. So to stay within the project budget, we would need to trim probably another 2,000 square feet out of that floor plan you just saw and reduce that down to 11,200. Russ can talk about the operation and the need for that larger space to support his current programs. Through that programming effort, Russ didn't build in a lot of room for growth. It was primarily just looking at his current programs and staffing needs, and that 13,000 square foot option is about what he would need to operate. There's some good news here with the budget. Russ has requested some funding from the university for this project. He made a total request of just over $800,000, and that included a number of items that were related to the construction of the building, and then some items related to operational and tenant improvement type work. So those construction-related items are the highlighted yellow ones there, and they add up to just under $325,000. So if the university funds Russ's request, it reduces that $733,000 project shortfall down to just under $409,000. So with that additional $324,000, we could probably get another 12,000 square feet back in that building. So you'd be looking at about a 12,000 square foot facility. So we're here today to, I guess, get some direction from the board on the comfort level of either adding some funds to the project so we can stick with that 13,000 square foot building, or some direction to stay within the original $5.5 million budget and work with the architect to reduce the size. Quick peek at the project schedule. We did the kickoff in June. We got our 30% plan set from NEI in August. We're at the 60% plan stage now. They'd like to proceed to the 95%, but ultimately we would end up with a bid package around May. We'd get that project out to bid. The important date there for the construction is getting that notice to proceed out in August of this year. And right now, NEI is projecting about a 12-month construction duration. I think that's maybe a little conservative. I think we can beat that date. But if we do have to go back to the drawing board and reduce the size of the building, those dates will certainly slip a little bit. Probably nothing substantial, but I would expect to see a little movement there.
So Scott, explain to me, you're 400 and some odd $1,000 short, even with the university coming in with 800 and something $1,000. And we gave you a budget of 5.5, and that includes, I can see the construction contractor, push the overhead and the contractor profit at 600,000, 650,000. Then the taxes. Taxes are like $250,000. And we can't, as a county government building something, you can't get away with not paying taxes, if you ask.
Correct. The county is not a tax exempt organization.
And according to statute, what we're supposed to provide is just office space? Is that what it is? What's the statute? Because there's lab work, there's kitchen facilities, there's a lot of stuff in there that we may have an issue with at the end. So what would your recommendation be? That we stick to the 1,200, the reduction?
So, yeah, I
The
think,
200 feet reduction, or the 1,800 feet reduction, or the 1,200 feet reduction was to cover what, 800,000 or the 400,000?
so in order to stay within the $5.5 million budget, yeah, we'd need to reduce the building size down to about 11,200 square feet. That's exclusive of any additional funding the university provides. If they do provide some funding towards the construction, we can probably add some square footage back in, but certainly not get to the 13,000.
And the professional services is what, engineering mostly, design? Professional
Professional ser-
services, 510,000, contingency at 403,000.
Engineering and architecture, yes.
Contingency is supposed to be in case you don't, well, in case something happens. But assuring the contractor that he's got a profit and overhead of 600,000, 650,000, it's just to me a big grab. Maybe I ought to work on a little bit on those areas instead of reducing the size.
Yeah, so as we march through the design effort, as we get closer to the final design, that 95%, we'll get another cost estimate from Nicholas Engineering, and it'll be a little bit tighter and a little bit tighter. There's still quite a bit of volatility in the construction market right now, and that's the kind of the kicker in this, is trying to predict what pricing's gonna be when we do get to construction.
Okay. It's still a little early, but I can see where we could have some issues, especially providing the contractor I can see where we have some issues with providing the contractor with profit and overhead. Just, it doesn't give him any incentive to cut costs at all. It's like having a design and construct by the same person, the same, not person, but the same entity. I don't know. I think it's a little early to talk about the shortfall, but I think we need to start tightening up some things. When you provide the contractor, like I said, an overhead and a profit, a guaranteed overhead and a profit, that's really not giving him any incentive to finish on time, to do the best job he does, to get out quickly. It means that whatever the cost of the project is, he'll multiply a percentage into it, whatever the cost of the project is. In this case, the construction project is $4,367,000. That includes the overhead and the profit?
So those are standard kind of placeholders as NEI develops their cost estimate based on the actual building construction. So a $4.1 million project, it's a percentage for overhead, a percentage for profit. But this will be a hard bid project, so low bid will certainly govern or win. And we could see a reduction there as well, you know.
I hate to reduce the size of the building itself. I'd rather look into a little more detail, a little closer to the details before we decide whether we want to pay the professional services outside the scope of the project. There'll be choices that we need to make as the project gets nearer to completion. I think this is a good update, but it's not the final update.
Correct, this is not the final update.
Right.
So like I said, maybe just some direction on whether to proceed to that 95% design, knowing that there is a shortfall in the project, and we have yet to hear back from the university on their decision to add additional funding.
Issued back in October of 2024. Do I need to repeat myself, or did you hear me?
No, no, it's fine.
Okay. The Yuma County has a statutory authority and obligation to provide reasonable office space to the cooperative extension. But that's what the statute says, is reasonable office space. Yuma County does not have any statutory authority or obligation to use taxpayer dollars to provide the cooperative extension with anything beyond reasonable office space.
I'm
Yeah, I
not
think-
disputing what the county
I would
attorney's
wait
office
to give it to you
says,
closer.
but, you know, we've polled other counties on how they handle their cooperative extensions, and most of them don't, have such a restrictive definition for a reasonable office space.
And I understand, it's the attorneys, and I think we had this discussion, you know, earlier or before, you know, but it's just, to me, it amazes me how much, I mean, obviously, this county, it's an agriculture, I mean, the #1 industry that keeps this county pretty much alive.
That's right.
And to hear from, you know, I guarantee you that if any other county was like this, they would probably provide even more. You know, it just amazes me, you know, and saddens me that no matter who you work for or what title you have, and you still think about, you know, how to put obstacles or to an industry that basically keeps this county going.
And you know, I don't want to speak for
Not
Russ,
directly, but indirectly. I mean, it's just.
Directly and indirectly.
And then, yeah, so it just, anyways, I do take your comments, and, you know, we've been through this before. Obviously, we're here, and we're talking about this item, and it's just, if I would like, you know, before we're done with this item, just to hear Russ and talk about the programs, because it's not only about agriculture, but it's also that helps a lot of the youth that want to get involved. That, you know, we just heard not too long ago, Dr. Kaur talk about AWC. You know, how the students are wanting to, you know, educate or get a higher education. Well, I think there's some of these programs that the extension offers also provide that and help on that direction. So, but my thing would be, if we, like you said, maybe it's a little bit too early to make a decision, but if we were to do it, or where would the funding, if there's any funding?
So we would have to total it all up between what the university ultimately approves, see what that is, and then we'd come back to the board with some options there. So I would work with OMB and finance to identify potential funding sources.
Scott, what you want from us is, Scott, Josh, what you want from us is a sense of whether we want to go ahead with the project at 5.5, or and I think it's early enough so that we can say, okay, we'll go ahead with the budget that you have, and then come back to us with options if it comes a little short. I understand the importance of the corporate extension. I understand it's just not about office space, and that's the minimum standard according to statute is office space. But I think that's the minimum standard, that we have to provide them with office space.
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Reyes, the statute only provides for reasonable office space, and the county can only do what the statute allows. This office, the county attorney's office, has an obligation to provide legal advice to the Board of Supervisors. We have no issue whatsoever with the mission of the cooperative extension, and they should be able to do what they need to do, but it would be on their dollar. There's no authority for Yuma County to spend taxpayer dollars for anything beyond reasonable office space. In the event the statute changed to provide more and use language such as labs, conference rooms, demonstration
I wouldn't call it lab or conference room. I call it extended office space.
It is part of the office space.
Okay, extended office space. Do not call it lab, do not call it kitchen, because it would get into a statutory problem. Call it larger office space, call it whatever you want to, just don't call it anything that's gonna go against the statute, correct? I mean, I'm not giving them any ideas, I'm just telling them, look, do not call it lab space or kitchen space. I'm not giving you any ideas, I'm telling you, continue with the project, with the budget you have, just be sure did you call them what they should be called? Because we have a statutory project that needs to fit the statute. And, oh, I'm sorry, but my eye, something got in my eye, but, okay. I think we need to let them know that we desire you to continue with the project planning, okay? And then get us closer to the reality of what it needs to be. I don't really need you to explain to me what the office extension does. I know the program, I like the program, and I think we're gonna catch your thing, but I think that discussion should be had.
Yeah, I think unless any other questions or comments.
I don't have any questions, just comments.
Yep, no. Like I said, I'd like to see it back when it's a little further down the road, so we've got a better idea.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, so, yeah, if the board's comfortable, we'll proceed to the 95% and refresh that cost estimate and come back for another update.
All right,
I'm in agreement.
Not that we're totally comfortable with it, but we're comfortable with it enough to let you go on.
Understood.
all right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Scott or Josh?
Judge Scott, Judge Scott.
Sorry, Josh.
Problem with the first.
I knew it was Josh, either Josh or Scott, so I chose Scott wrongly. It should have been Josh. I've only known you for like 20 years. You should be able to.
Problem with having two first names.
Yeah, I don't have two first names, Scott, Josh Scott.
Moving on to the planning and zoning agenda, full legal descriptions of property sites for all rezoning cases are available for public review at the Yuma County Board of Supervisors office. Moving to rezoning, regular public hearing item. Staff will make a presentation on each of the following items, followed by separate discussion, public hearing, and action by the Board of Supervisors. Item number one, text amendment case number 25-04.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman,
Barraza.
members of the board. Thanks. Javier Barraza, Senior Planner, presenting text amendment TA 25-04. It's text amendment to the Yuma County zoning ordinance to consider changes to section 704.03, definitions to include a definition for influence area, to list the included and not included military installations or range or Arizona National Guard site, to depict the corresponding boundaries on the official zoning map, and to incorporate the respective layer into the Yuma County GIS. The intent of the text amendment is to comply with the changes to Arizona revised statutes approved by the governor on March 29, 2024, with House Bill 2548, effective on September 14, 2024. House Bill 2548 amends existing laws to enhance the notifications requirement for municipalities and counties near military installations, ranges, or Arizona National Guard sites. It mandates that local governments notify military commanders when land use applications such as comprehensive plan, amendments, zoning changes, and subdivision applications are deemed complete. Staff is recommending the following changes to the zoning ordinance. Text that is strike-through format is intended to be deleted, and text in bold font is proposed new text to be added. Here is section 74.03. Everything is bolded will be included in that section. Also, this is the official zoning map. This is the index maps highlighted in yellow is the influence area throughout the county. It's a 2-mile boundary from YPG and Bombing Range. All those maps, this map depicts all the individual zoning map that will be reflecting this influence area. The Planning Commission recommends approval of text amendment case number 25-04. And with that, staff is ready to answer any questions.
Yeah, can you ask, is item 2507 any different? One is GPS, I know that GPS, but the other one is an amendment to the, one is a text amendment on GPS, incorporated layers. And the other one is What?
Minor
Boundaries in the, oh, it's, the other one's a minor amendment?
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yep.
go ahead.
Could I answer? Mr. Chairman, yeah, one is the text amendment that will amend the zoning ordinance, and the other one will amend the 2030 comprehensive plan.
Mr. Chairman, you can open both items so that both items can be discussed at the same time.
Well, that's what I was trying to do, but I think I didn't sound right when I said it. One is
So
a minor
you
amendment, I
you have
know,
to
but
take an
they
action
deal
to
with the
open
same
item
thing.
number 3.
Item, so 24, 20, and 04 and 25, 07?
Yep.
MA 25-07. Minor amendment 25-07, which is that item number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all this does is just bring it into compliance with state law.
Correct, that is correct, Mr. Chairman.
So you want me to open them all three?
Please, if you want to discuss them, we can discuss this, and then I
Okay.
can present the other one.
Then,
Yes.
okay, I'll go ahead and also open item number 2, text amendment case number
Mr. Chairman,
25.
that will be number 3, which is the minor amendment.
2 is a separate one.
2
To
is,
go
Okay.
separate.
That's why I said, why?
is a different subject, yes. Sorry about the confusion.
04 and 07 are the
Yeah,
same.
because we got a 2 in the middle.
Middle,
I mean,
yeah.
that one
That's
could have
why-
been
why
number
I said
3
let's leave it as
instead
that,
of, yeah. That's why it's kind of, okay, so I'll open item number 3, minor amendment case number 25-07.
So the question is, what is the, when you do the GPS, you're gonna put in a range, which is 2 miles.
2 miles.
2 miles. So 2 miles around the base, or in the boundary of the base, development will be limited to whatever that range allows. What does it allow? What kind of? zoning does
Mr.
it
Chairman,
allow?
Supervisor Reyes, what this influence area is will municipalities and counties will need to notify the
it's
military
notification.
installations that any new land use changes, rezoning, special use permits, subdivisions. We will need to notify them about those.
So the
items.
GPS, it just comes with the text amendment.
Uh,
right? So once you make the text amendment in the minor amendment, then you will be able to put it in the GPS system so that people, when they look at that area, they'll know they have to be notification done. Is that the notification? This is the notification text? That's what we're
Mr.
approving. We're approving a notification text that comes together with the GPS.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Reyes, what that in the Yuma County GIS system, this influence area will be added to the layers.
What do I call it? GPS? It's GS, right?
Geographic Information System, Yuma County.
Yeah, yeah.
And, yes,
Okay, got it. I got it.
we know what you meant.
Open up to the public. Open it to the public. Yeah. No, yes, that's all the questions I had.
And this is minor amendment case MA 25-07, which is the same content. But in this case, we are amending coordination map 14.5, Yuma Regional Development Plan, map 1. Same intent.
What's the house?
Also, we're going to add to the glossary influence area and military installations list. On the left, you will see the existing current map, and on the right is how the map's going to look, showing in yellow the influence area. In the same fashion, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommends approval of minor amendment case 25-07. And that concludes my presentation on both cases.
So we're coming within the context of House Bill 2548, right? House Bill 2548 require that we,
The zoning ordinance and this, and the GIS layer, and amendment is to that 2030 comprehensive plan.
I understand. I guess you open up to the public and then we'll find out.
Any other questions?
No questions. I don't have any questions.
Okay, I'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Seeing none, close the public hearing, bring it back to the board.
I'll make a motion, we approve text amendment case 25-04.
I'll second.
and Minor amendment case number 25-07 is presented.
Mr. Chairman, you need
second.
to take action on the first and then the second.
Oh, okay, well then 25-04.
I'll second that too.
There's a motion and a second to approve text amendment case number 25-04. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And
there a
I'll
motion?
Make a motion that we approve minor amendment case number 25-07
I'll
as
second it.
presented.
There's a motion to approve minor amendment case number 25-07. And a second.
I think Supervisor Pancrase said that she seconded.
There's a motion and a second, yeah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, text amendment case number 25-05.
They will have some issues. Wait, what are we coming up to what the city of Yuma has, or is
Yeah,
it?
Mr. Chairman, for this item, I'm requesting that this item be withdrawn at this time, and it'll be rescheduled for a future hearing.
That's a complex thing.
All right.
Thank you.
Dang, make it easy.
You're welcome.
Make it easier.
Thank you. We don't need a motion for that, huh? No, okay. Moving on
They'll come back.
to legislative issues. Alejandro?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, thank you.
Alejandro?
So on January 12th of last week, the 57th Arizona State Legislature convened for its second regular session. Leaders from across the state, including Yuma County Vice Chairman Lyons, gathered at the Capitol to begin discussions on their top priorities for this session. Later that day, Governor Hobbs delivered her State of the State address to a joint session of both chambers. She emphasized the importance of working across the aisle to address key issues such as affordability, water challenges, data centers, and securing the southern border. April 25th is scheduled to mark the 100th day of the session, but it's very unlikely we will have the session sine die by then. Very unlikely. Yes, sir. So let's go over the governor's executive proposed budget that she dropped last Friday. At this stage, it's important to emphasize that this is the governor's proposal only. We will still have a long road ahead before the House, Senate, and the governor herself reaching the final agreement. On the policy side, the budget includes targeted health and human services investments responding to recent federal changes, including Medicaid and SNAP requirements, with an emphasis on rural access and system navigation. The proposal also includes a substantial public safety component, nearly $760 million, focused on border-related law enforcement, joint state-federal operations, and staffing support at ports of entry, pending federal reimbursement. From a county perspective, today's release sets the framework for negotiations. The numbers will shift, but this gives us an early indication of the administration's priorities as we head into the legislative budget discussions. Staff will continue to track this closely and flag any developments with direct implications for Yuma County as the budget process moves forward. So as of today, more than 1,200 bills, memorials, and resolutions have already been introduced. The Senate has set February 2nd as its deadline for members to introduce bills, while the House has set February the 9th as its deadline. So we will most likely see several more bills dropped in the coming weeks. Out of those 1,200, I want to highlight this 4 or 5 that I've with the board. HB 2324, Fire Code Municipalities County Buildings. This is a Yuma County-backed bill. It amends state fire code enforcement by allowing cities with adopted fire codes to petition for exemption from state fire code inspections of county-owned buildings if the review is unduly burdensome and the local code is not less stringent. It requires the Office of the State Fire Marshal to act on such petitions within 30 days and assign inspection responsibility to the city upon approval. The act also establishes procedures for construction plan reviews, fire safety inspection, and arson investigations under the State Fire Marshal's authority.
Alejandro, what would the purpose of a bill like this be if it's not less stringent? I mean, if it's not less stringent, it means it's more stringent, which means that the licensure issues with the cities are more stringent than the state or that the county licensure issues are. So what's the point of a bill like this?
Well,
expedition?
Mr. Vice Chair Supervisor Reyes, the state would never allow us to go with a less stringent code. the idea is to make it more efficient for the county to have inspectors handy to come and approve or review any application that the county submits for their buildings.
So the purpose of this bill is to make it 30 days. The actual purpose of the bill is to make it faster.
Right.
So that you don't have to meet all those requirements if the county's requirements are in excess of the city's requirement in case of a fire issue.
Right, it gives the county the option to go with the city code. And right now, the state fire marshal staff is either based out of Phoenix or Flagstaff. So that means, and without the,
Delay. So this is a bill to expedite the process, actually.
Absolutely,
It's
sir.
not to make it easier for counties, it's to
no,
expedite the process.
expedite the process.
For everybody.
Safety is our top priority.
It's county building, so
Yes, sir.
it doesn't say for everybody. If it said for everybody, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but it says county-owned buildings. So that means that it's not for everybody, it's just for the county. When, for example, this building would have had to, if it was more stringent, if we had more stringent codes, it would have taken the state a long time to come over and check it, instead of the city of Yuma. But the city of Yuma had stringent codes.
The way the statute reads right now, Supervisor Reyes, is that any city that reaches more than 100,000 people in its population, county, state, and schools buildings, they're supposed to be inspected by the state fire marshal. What we're trying to do is to get an exemption or waive that requirement for county buildings and allow for the city, if the county desires so, they may ask the city to come and inspect and take over that responsibility for county buildings.
So it's speed. We want to
Right,
make it faster.
efficiency,
Efficiency.
while still keeping safety as our top concern.
Yeah, well, that's what to me is an issue all the time with the cities. They try to keep it simple and they don't. They take forever to give you a permit. So I wanted to know if it's the 30-day that 30-day deal was sticking. A sticking point on this bill is whether it's for speed or whether it's for efficiency, and both of them to me are kind of related to each other. So what this bill is saying that if the inspection in the city is not less stringent, it's more stringent, then the
It's
state
equal or as
is stringent.
as stringent or more strict than the state.
Okay, well, it's a timing issue. Okay, sorry, it's just a question. I didn't see much gain on the bill for the county.
I'll move on to HB 2339, solar devices, sellers, marketers, and licensure. It requires, this bill will establish licensure requirements on sellers and marketers for solar energy devices designed for residential rooftop installation, including a fiduciary duty to act in the buyer's or lessee's best interest. That's also a Yuma County supported or
Let's go
backed.
back to Supervisor's Lyons bill, making the solar leases more to the buyer's interest instead of the seller's interest, which in this case, those companies make sure that this is a lease over time. Then when over time these people don't own the project, they just own the lease. And at the end of the day, whatever is left to the buyers, to the sellers, excuse me. So this is making it so that they have a fiduciary duty to act in the buyer's or lessee's best interest. I'd like to see it in effect.
Yes,
One of
sir.
those things that Supervisor Lyons talked about.
We call it the Solar Consumer Protection Bill. But obviously, they gave it an official name, and it's a bit different, but the idea is to protect solar consumers from a lot of those bad actors in the solar industry.
That's what we needed. It does what we need it to do, to protect the homeowner.
Well, I think in terms of a zoning, we are there to protect the county, but in terms of the actual rooftops, we have no tools at all to help protect the buyers. And I think that's what Supervisor Lyons was talking about. He was talking about having a little more fiduciary responsibility to the buyers, as opposed to the leaseholders being in charge of the whole process and making sure that their interest is covered. Okay, no problem with that.
I will move on to HB 2304, Appropriations Transportation Projects. Funding is allocated to ADOT for fiscal year 26-27 to support a wide range of highway, street, bridge, and pedestrian infrastructure projects across multiple cities, towns, counties, and tribal communities. Specific appropriations target road reconstruction, widening, paving, intersection improvements, bridge replacements, traffic signal upgrades, and electric vehicles charging station development. Major projects include investments in State Route 89 widening, State Route 24 extension, and various urban and rural transportation enhancements statewide. And if there's no comments, I will then turn to SB 1161, appropriation, lapse, and exemption, Yuma County.
Hold on. Before that appropriation bill, before the ADOT gets funded for 26, 27, I like a list of projects. So when you get a chance, give me a list of the projects that are going to be approved through this. I like to see what projects they're looking at, because sometimes it gets very weighted to the rural, urban areas.
There's several projects, Professor Reyes. This is not gonna pass at all. They're gonna break it in pieces as the budget negotiation goes on. This is just to get the conversation going, but it hasn't been successful in the past. They've tried this before, and they never agreed to the
I
entire
try to do it in a package, and then
Yeah.
they separate it into individual pieces.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Tony. I'd like to see what's rural and what's urban.
It'll
that
be
they're looking
mostly
at.
urban. Yes.
That's why, well, I thought this was a bill that was encompassing all the projects. I wanted to see it, but if it's going to be parceled off, I mean, which it normally is, I thought this was gonna put them all together and sort of pass them in a bunch. So I wanted to see what the impact would be to the county in terms of projects that come to Yuma County, whether they come to the eastern portion of the county or western portion of the county or north or south. Didn't matter, I just wanted to know how the county fared in that bill. But if the bill is going to be parceled off, I don't think there's going to be that much interest in finding out what parcels were taken. Well, it may be interesting to find out which ones were taken out and separated.
I'll be happy to share that list with you after this meeting. I'll say that we're still pushing for US 95, as you know, as our main project for the county this time around. So even if this doesn't work, or if it does not end up including US 95, we'll still ask for the money, $12.8 million for 11-mile repaving of US 95.
Okay, gotcha.
SB 1161, appropriation, lapse and exemption, Yuma County, is an appropriation of $750,000 to the Department of Public Safety for the Yuma County Family Advocacy Center in fiscal year 25-26. So it's great news for Yuma County. I also like to point out, and I mentioned this to Supervisor Simmons before the meeting, HB 2059, it's not on the slide. It's highway speed restrictions, safety. Arizona establishes de-restricted speed zones on designated state highway segments outside urbanized areas. This is Representative Cupper's bill. It allows non-commercial vehicles to travel without a maximum speed limit from 30 minutes before sunrise to 30 minutes after sunset, with an 80 mile per hour limit during nighttime hours. It imposes requirements for safe driving behavior within these zones, mandates on annual safety audits, and sets civil penalties for violations starting at $500. The act also sets 80 miles per hour maximum speed limit on interstate highways outside urbanized areas, authorizes the Department of Transportation to adjust speed limits based on engineering studies, and exempts the de-restricted zones from certain existing speed-related penalties. So this would also impact I-8, and that's why I bring it up to your attention. It would increase the speed limit to 80 on the I-8, and that's HB 2059.
Actually, it would take the speed limits off. Wouldn't increase them, would it? I mean, it would increase technically, but it's not intended to be an increase. It's intended to be a removal of a speed limit, wasn't it? From what I read.
Not the final version, Supervisor Reyes. This is what's on the books now. That's what they're trying to get on the books. What was on the newspaper, on the media a few weeks ago has changed as your negotiation starts way before the session starts. So this is the final, this is how it reads right now.
Okay. I was looking for it, but I couldn't find it, so.
Supervisor Reyes, as I mentioned before, I did not include that on
I didn't include that
the
on there. It's okay,
slideshow.
it's fine.
I'll be happy to share that information with you via email.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so moving on to the federal side of the presentation. Congress is still finalizing the fiscal year 2026 budget. Leadership is using bundled minibus packages to move several bills at once and avoid a government shutdown. One of those packages is already complete, a three-bill minibus covering commerce, justice, science, energy and water, and interior and environment passed both chambers with strong bipartisan support and is now headed to President Trump's desk. A second larger funding package is now in play. This one covers some of the biggest parts of the federal budget, including defense, labor, health and human services, education, transportation, housing and urban development, and homeland security. Homeland security funding has been the most sensitive piece. Congress added tighter controls on how immigration enforcement funds can be used, which help keep negotiations moving forward. The key date to watch is January 30th. Congressional leaders are aiming to pass the remaining bills before then to keep the federal government fully funded and avoid another shutdown. Staff will continue to monitor these packages closely, especially for any funding and policy changes that could affect counties and border communities like Yuma. And on the international front, I know Supervisor Reyes will ask about this. We had very good comments back from industry regarding the second part-time entomologist on San Luis to Port of Entry. The release time for those loads, truckloads that have to be inspected by the USDA, the wait time on them has dropped by half. So we're moving in the right direction. GYPA continues to look for funding and partnering with GSA to build a lab, a bigger or expanded lab at the San Luis to Port of Entry to have eventually two full-time entomologists at the Port of Entry. And that will conclude my presentation to the board, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions or comments for Alejandro?
Thank you, Alejandro.
Alejandro, what did you find out about the Mexican side and the funding of the Port of Entry in the Mexican side? Did you find out anything about it?
Well, Supervisor Reyes, again, I reached out to the governor's office in Sonora. They're still talking. They're going to be completing that project in the next year or so. And I didn't quite ask why was Yuma County not invited, because our governor doesn't usually invite the Mexican officials when she's coming down to visit Yuma County. So I don't think we need to expect an invitation. We can ask for information. And they're saying they're going to be, for us not to worry, the project will be completed within the next 12 to 18 months.
I worry because I see the American side almost done. I mean, it's ready to go, and the Mexican side haven't even started their construction yet. So everything's going to be ready half of the year, and they still think 18 months is a reasonable time. I don't know how they see that.
I'm willing to bet that they'll finish
Oh,
in time.
This is weird.
And we're still gonna have the issue of not every lane open. I guarantee you that. So that's why I would like to direct Alejandro to draft a letter for our legislators and federal that, you know, we gonna need more staff to man the lanes there, because we've been talking about this issue for the last 10 years or so, and we have 5 lanes right now, or 6 lanes, 8 lanes, and they're not all open because it's the staffing. So I think we worry too much about the other side when we should be thinking about our side and making sure that those lanes are going to be open, because I guarantee you people will complain about having a new Port of Entry with 16 lanes, and only 5 or 6 of them are going to be open. I guarantee you that, Mr. Reyes. And
well, I hope you notice that the checkup point that as you came in the car is gone, which I asked Chris Leon, who's happened to be the port director now, what the purpose of that was. I mean, I can understand that when people rush the border because they thought they could apply for asylum, but right now, who's going to rush the border now? You have inspections on one side as you come in through a turnstile, and then you have inspections on the inside. So what's the point of that too?
Well, those are
Safety.
things I think we can address
Can
with
work on.
the,
Well,
with
that's a
our
local issue.
federal, yeah,
And
legislators.
Mr.
But
Chairman, if I may go back to the federal side of the presentation, and I forgot to mention this. Vice Chairman Lyons will be hosting 4 to 5 federal agencies here in Yuma County in this actual chamber next Tuesday, the 27th. It's an official hearing regarding PM10 and how it's
PM10.
impacting Yuma County. So at 9 o'clock, it's open to the public, 9 o'clock on the 27th, here in this chamber, Yuma County will be hosting federal agencies to hear the local stakeholders and how the non-attainment designation, PM10 non-attainment designation of Yuma County, it's impacting the community.
I thought they had removed that. I thought that we weren't under the PM10 cloud anymore.
Well, they're working on that.
Well, they're working on it. It wasn't a done deal.
Mhm.
Okay.
I guess they want to make it official. Alejandro, can you, I mean, if it's okay with the board, but that letter maybe at the cities, the mayors, and so that way, fully staffed. Mhm.
Mr. Chairman, yes, I have engaged with the city of San Luis since they have a lot of information on the project itself to provide me with some talking points, some data points that I can include into the letter itself and make it more appealing or persuasive to our congressional delegation.
All right.
And for those who aren't aware, I think the chairman and I will be at Washington DC, so we'd like to carry that if we could. The idea is to check on our legislators out there, our senators and our representatives at the federal level and take something with us. And I think that's something. I think PELT has been an issue that's been dealt with for the next fiscal year, from what I read on the NACO magazine or whatever they have. But the issues of what impacts Yuma County are still available to discuss. And I think that every time we visit Washington, we should take the opportunity to visit our legislators and remind them just how agriculture is important, how things need to move that way. So thank you for the letter, and if you get the mayors to sign it, it will have a lot more impact. At least the American people know, at least American representatives know what a county does.
Yes, sir.
I just, when we were in Washington going up to the Hill, I just hate going up there, spending all that day to the Hill and talking to a staff member. And I just, I mean, that just not, I mean, I'd rather go or talk to them here when they're here. But up there, they're not there. They're too busy, so. But, I mean, we can take it, leave it there or whatever.
Leave it there. Well, the staff is normally who does the work. Normally staffers do the work, so I'm used to just leaving stuff with the staffers, but it used to be like every legislator would meet you, or at least have a breakfast with you or something, especially the senators, but nowadays it's getting tougher and tougher to see them because they're working.
Yep.
That's what they say.
All right. Anything else for Alejandro? All right. Thank you, Alejandro.
Thank you, sir.
Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So move.
I'll move to go into executive session.
There's a motion and a second to go into executive session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, well, we're meeting,
Over there.
Correct, Mr. Chair, it's room 110 in that far corner, the blue room.
Okay, let's do this. So I was supposed to, the city engineer. Ya no agarra su cuchilla. So there's 3 items in the agenda. Two, well, and I know there's supposed to be 3, right? But
We're only deciding
we're only deciding on 2. So concerning the contract with Meridian Engineering is not to be, it's not an item that we can make a decision on because they left aside, isn't it? So we go to the next 2.
Yep, number 2.
We'll terminate the contract. Okay, the motion will be to terminate the contract between the Yuma County Flood Control District and Meridian Engineering Company entering into March 8, 2022 concerning this Market Park Retention Basin Project CIP
Are we back?
number 3.
Not-
I'm not sure. Are you
Are we
in
back?
session?
Are we taping?
Back up.
Oh, I did.
Okay.
Are we,
Okay,
okay.
we're good? Okay.
So-
We'll go ahead and,
Authorize the Flood Control District Manager or his designee to assign all
hold on, Tony.
relevant.
Well,
Hold on,
let's just, go ahead back into, regular session and proceed.
Okay, the motion is to terminate the contract between the Yuma County Flood Control District and Meridian Engineering that was entered into March the 8th, 2022 concerning this Market Park Detention Basin Project CIP number 3.9703 and authorize the Flood Control District Manager or his designee to sign all relevant contract termination documents thereto subject to legal counsel review. That it? Yeah, that's my
All
motion.
right, there's a motion
Second it.
and a second to terminate the contract between Yuma County Flood Control District and Medinium Engineering Company. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
On item number 3, which is for the county attorney to authorize the flood control district manager to advertise for construction services to complete this Market Park Detention Basin CP number 3.9703.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second to authorize the flood control district manager to advertise for construction services to complete this Market Park Detention Basin project. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Okay, the morning meeting's adjourned.